Hoş geldiniz. Bugün bazlama yapıyorum. Today I am making bazlama. Bazlama is a delicious Turkish yeast flatbread, and it's so good and so delicious, and the way that it puffs up when it cooks, I think you're gonna love it. So I'll show you just how to make it. Okay, so to make our bazlama, our Turkish yeast flatbread, first and foremost it starts out with the yeast. So I have a teaspoon of yeast, and then to that I'm going to add some warm water, just like that. And now I'm going to give it a stir, just until it's roughly incorporated. And then to that I'm going to add some oil. I'm using olive oil. Really like the taste of olive oil in my breads. Give it another stir. And then I have my flour and my salt. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my salt and just sprinkle it over my flour. And then I'm going to incorporate it into my yeast and water and oil. Just stirring as I pour it in. Just a little. It's no hurry. Just little by little. And with each incorporation, just stirring. Just like that. Perfect, that looks great. So I'm gonna keep on stirring it together and see if I need some more flour. And I think I'm just gonna add a tad bit more. Just sprinkle it right in. Beautiful. And you could totally use this with a mixer. Like if you had a dough hook, you could also make it this way, but I find that it works just as well with the wooden spoon in a big bowl. So as I'm working the dough, as you can see, it's a little sticky, which is what we want. So now what I'm going to do, it's time to knead. So I'm going to make some counter space here. Put that aside. And I'm going to sprinkle my counter space with some flour and rub it on my hands. And then now it's time to take my delicious bazlama dough and place it on my counter. I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of flour right on top and just start kneading. So I want to knead this for about 5 to 10 minutes. And as you will see, as you start to work with the dough, it should be nice and light. This is what I love about this recipe, is that the dough is so beautiful. Actually, it's not a heavy dough, it's really light. So I'm just going to knead it gently, incorporating a little bit more flour as needed. And this Turkish flatbread is so good. I mean, there are a myriad of different flatbreads that I've tried in Turkish cuisine, but this one I really love because it has some volume to it with the yeast, and it just really is so great with any type of meal that really, quite frankly, even if I'm not eating Turkish food, I really enjoy it. But it's the perfect type of bread for a meze night, or if you want to just put out even as just a side item. I use it when I'm making Italian pasta too. Alright, so I'm going to keep on kneading, and then once I'm done kneading, it'll be time to let it rise. Okay, so my bazlama dough has been rising for several hours now, and it looks really good. So what I'm going to do is it's time to roll it out. So I'm going to place it on my workspace, and I'm going to dust it with a little bit of flour, just like that, and also my hands with some flour. I love this dough because it is just really so supple and so nice to work with, and I'm just kind of gently kneading it again. Okay, so what I want to do now is literally shape it into my balls. So I've combined it all together, and now I'm just going to cut it so I have some even pieces. And I'm going to make large pieces of bazlama. Now you can make smaller size servings, but I want mine to be quite large. This is how I've traditionally always bought it, so I think this is my favorite way. So what you do is you just take it and roll the dough into a ball. Make sure your surface is nicely floured. And then take your rolling pin, dust it with some flour, and then start rolling. So I'm just rolling it back and forth, and then I turn it back and forth, and then you turn it back and forth, and you turn it. And you'll find with this dough that it's kind of spongy. It feels like it's bouncing back. Don't fear, it's actually gonna do a second rise. So once we finish rolling it out, I'm gonna let it rise again, and it's gonna get even thicker. It's gonna be so good. And that's part of the beautiful texture of the bazlama. It's a flatbread, but it's quite thick for a flatbread. It's not quite as thin as a lot of traditional flatbreads are, and I love it so much. So continue to roll this guy out, make it a little bit bigger. And the first time I tried bazlama, I really had no idea what it was other than the fact that it was bread. And it was so good. I was like, wow, I can't believe it took me this long to try it. So, okay. So that is just about the thickness that I want it to be. So now what I'm going to do is just place it on my sheet of parchment paper here. And then I'm going to cover it again with my towel and let it rise for another half an hour. So, and then we will be able to cook up our delicious bazlama. So good. Okay, so it's been about half an hour. My bazlama dough has been rising and it's ready to be cooked. So I'll show you how we cook it. Okay, so my bazlama is just about done, and as you can see, it's beautiful. It definitely rose from the yeast, and it looks so good. Now, at this point, you can totally eat it as is, but what I like to do is just take a little bit of olive oil and just dust it ever so lightly. You don't have to do this is completely optional. I mean, you can use butter instead, or you just don't have to put anything at all. It's really good on its own. And then I'm just gonna dust it with a little bit of Himalayan sea salt, just like that. And then there we have it. It's time to break bread, and we have the beautiful bazlama bread, our delicious Turkish yeast flatbread. So good and so delicious. So, thank you so much for checking out this video on how to make bazlama. I hope that you enjoyed it, and until the next video, I can't wait to see you next time. See ya!